War Eagle, War Auburn family. This is your host, C-Dub. We have a great show lined up for you guys. Bo actually is heading to Oregon. The fellas are all here to discuss that. And what does that mean for our quarterback room moving forward? Also, we break down Auburn's big win over Murray State tonight. Definitely talk player of the game and some tools to the game for that as well. So definitely want to stick around for that. But for now, sit back, get your weight up, because tonight we enter the war room.
You are now listening to the War Rapport. Wednesday night War Room. Brought to you by Auburn Sports.com. Ike Jones. B. Will. C. Doe. Mike G. Let's go!
War Eagle, everyone. War Eagle, happy Wednesday. Happy holidays to each and every one of you guys. Thanks for tuning in to the latest and greatest Wednesday Night War Room, brought to you by our sponsors and friends over at auburnsports.com. Be sure to head over there for all of your recruiting intel and the latest on Auburn athletics. We want to shout out our War Rapport family. We want to appreciate you guys for hanging out with us, watching us, whether it's live or on replay. Do us a favor, share this video on social media using hashtag Get Your Weight Up and help us grow this online community. One of the greatest, if not the greatest online community, YouTube community for Auburn. All things Auburn, actually. Mike G, people need to become something in this offseason, man.
Yeah, listen, become an insider. We've got a lot of exciting content planned for you guys. You know the drill. I see we got a new insider in the comment section right now. So thank you for joining up. Do the same. Get yourself a green name in these here chats and become an insider. We've got insider-only content coming at you guys January to July. You want to get a part of that. So do that. Sign up. We appreciate it. We are partnered with the Lee County Humane Society to raise money for a good cause. So this is the good that we've chosen to put back into the world. 50 cents on every dollar that you donate goes to the Lee County Humane Society to help them. Hashtag save all the puppies. I was talking with a representative from their organization today about some exciting spring things that we're going to do likely down in Auburn and on campus. So stay tuned for more of that. You can find a link to this fundraiser in the About section of our YouTube channel. We are giving away a t-shirt tonight. He going. Brought to you by GWT2 Energy. That's our guy, Walt Taylor, in the comments. He's bringing you these giveaways every single live cast. So hashtag Get Your Weight Up in the comments to enter. We're going to draw at the 1 hour mark. Shout out to our sponsor, BUSR. Visit busr.com/report and use promo code Thanks21 to enter and make some money, possibly, if you're good at it. B has a lot of advice along this. It's bowl season. There's tons of games to bet on. One less game, unfortunately, but it's bowl season. So busr.com/report to get your bets in. And last but not least, we are on podcast. So check us out on every podcast platform. Help us grow that a portion of the War Rapport. Leave us a review, sign up, download, do all the podcast things. Help us get on these podcast charts. You're muted.
You're muted. Thanks, sir. James Stallings, statement win. We'll get into that. Appreciate you for the super chat. Guys, let's go ahead and discuss this because we got lots to talk about with basketball, but I want to kind of frame this around moving forward with our QB room. And the reason why we're in this situation is because our 3-year starter, or the guy who has started 3 games for us in the past 3 seasons, is now heading to Oregon. Bo Nix, it was announced that Bo Nix will be committing and trying to win the job at Oregon. All signs point to that being a likely possibility. And for me, I wish him well. I don't. We're getting to a point to where we're starting to stop talking about him because he's no longer at Auburn and he no longer plays into the picture moving forward for Auburn. I hope he does well. Whatever his goals are, I know he wants to put some things on film. He's in a conference where the defense isn't quite as tough as it is in the SEC. He's not going to be playing in a tough division as the West Division in the SEC. So hopefully he's able to build on his development this year. He did improve in a lot of areas. So maybe he takes that and build upon that. It's also interesting to see how he looks coming off of that injury, if that limits him in terms of his mobility. But I wish him well. And he can move forward. Auburn can move forward. And we can worry about who we have currently in our QB room. I'll leave it at that. Ike, I know you're really at the point where you don't have a lot of words to say. So if you got anything here.
Not about that. I mean, what I will say is I'm looking forward to the QB competition in the spring. I think that, I was having a conversation with someone on Instagram about the talent level of the QB room. I don't know that I agree with the statement that we even know what the talent level of the QB room is right now. The sample size that we've seen is much too small for me to make any real evaluations. We've seen some of TJ, and I think that this bowl game will be something that will be a little more for us to be able to evaluate in that regard. Do I think TJ is a Heisman caliber quarterback at this point? Absolutely not. Do I think he's talented enough for us to win football games? I 100% do believe that he's got the arm talent. We just got to see some better calling of plays around him because there's just situations that we put him in that he was not going to be able to be successful. Specifically, speaking of South Carolina, him being hurt in the Iron Bowl, just we're not good situations for us to be able to make real evaluations of whether or not he can win football games. But Demetrius Davis, we haven't seen him play on the collegiate level yet. So to make assumptions about him, I think it's way too premature there. Holden Garner hasn't stepped foot on the college campus yet, so we don't know what we have in him yet. So the thirst for people to go after some sort of transfer quarterback, with that being backed up with the thought process that, we don't have the talent or we don't have the ability to play well with who we have in our room. I just don't know how you know that. So I'll just say that I'm interested to see where we go with the quarterback position and what sort of things now under new offensive coordinator Austin Davis / Brian Harsin / Keesaw. Like, I don't know what the whole play calling situation is going to be with that. What direction we go offensively is going to be interesting as well.
Mike G, your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I'm ready to get behind the guys we got here. So we're done. We're pretty much done with that conversation. The conversation that Isaac is referencing, though, he's being nice. It is a mind-numbingly idiotic conversation to have about the talent level of a bunch of guys that we just have not seen. Right? We have the winningest Texas high school quarterback ever in our QB room, and people are saying we don't have enough talent in our QB room, right? Based on him not being able to beat out a 2-year incumbent at the time. What? They're not even doing that at blue blood programs. Yeah. Nobody's starting. No program with a pipeline of quarterbacks is starting true freshman quarterbacks. They're just not doing that. Every once in a while, you have a guy who's comes in and he's really transcendent, right? But the risk, it's not because they need a quarterback. It's really because that dude just superseded all, right? Like, I can think of a couple of maybe examples, like Trevor Lawrence. Didn't he win it as a true freshman?
He didn't even start that season as the
Kelly Bryant.
Kelly
he split time through the first few games. Yeah.
Right.
Bryant
So
was the starter that year.
But if they would have been fine rolling with Bryant, I can't stress that enough. Trevor Lawrence was transcendent, but their team would have been okay with Kelly Bryant. Yeah. So it really was just about playing the best guy, right? Like, and so that's the conversation I want to have moving forward about the guys that we have. I think we have tons of talent in our QB room. Now, The other guy who was in competition for the job got here in the summer. So I'm not really sure how you're evaluating his ability to be able to win the job without the same amount of time to prepare. Right? And then we threw him in here willy-nilly to try to get us to a bowl game. You know, and every time he was called on, it was because things were falling apart. So this offseason is a good chance for them to reset, get back in here. Look, the guys, we have a lot of talent in our QB room right now. Holden Garriner coming in looks crazy talented.
He does.
I'm excited about watching him compete. Do I think he'll win the starting job this year? I hope not. And the reason I hope not is because that means we're in the same position we were in 2019, expecting a true freshman to come in and be the savior of Auburn football.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. That's not a winning formula. None of the other programs are doing that. So
unless he's just this transcendent player,
unless he's
once in a generation,
better be 10-2
player.
Better be 10-2 if that's the route you're going. Otherwise,
but that's highly unlikely.
Yeah, very unlikely. Yeah. I'm excited about the guys that we have in this room because we have honestly just not seen very much of them. So I'm not saying they're going to be great. I'm just excited to see what they are. So all these Auburn fans keep this, I want to see everybody get behind the guys that we have and not get down on them before we've seen them play for real. We got a new quarterback. We had a first-year head coach. We have an OC that we just fired. We got a new one coming in. Let's reset. Let's give these guys a good reset button. Let's give Auburn football's offense the reset. And let's get some enthusiasm behind this spring, man. I think it's going to be a fun spring to see who wins the job. If the coaches decide to go out and get somebody in the portal, so be it. Right? If he wins the job, I hope, again, it's the same. I feel like if you start a true freshman, hope we go 10-2 minimum.
Right.
If you let a guy come in here and win the job over two guys who have been in your system for over a year. Demetrius Davis will have had us 2 springs.
According to TJ, it's not going to be drastically different as far as the playbook is concerned.
Correct.
It's just going to be who's calling the plays, and the tempo or the pace is going to be a little bit different. So he should have a firm grasp. Both he and Demetrius should have a firm grasp of what's expected from them as far as the playbook. So if Holden comes in and wins that job, then they
didn't do their homework.
They were messing up.
Yeah. I would say I would feel confident under this coach saying that if a true freshman comes in and takes the job from you, it's probably because you didn't do your homework. You don't know what's expected of you.
Yep.
And that's consistent with what Harsin has talked about, even back at Boise when he was saying why you don't see some guys on the field because they're not doing what it takes to get onto the field in the first place.
Yeah, that's it. Right. So I'm excited about that. I think this is going to be fun to watch. I think it's going to be great. We have something defensively to build on from last year. We have some continuity on that side of the ball. We got to hit the reset button, but our head coach is an offensive guy. So we're not hitting the reset button completely. We may change concepts. QB tutelage might be a little different. We got a guy who's worked with Russell Wilson. This is a lot to be excited about. And we have a QB in our QB room in the mold of Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't see the gloom and doom that a lot of people see at quarterback. Don't see it.
I'm going to grab some super chats here before I get to UB for your thoughts. Chris Lester, appreciate you. I'm not sure if he was trying to chat something to us, but we appreciate the super chat nonetheless. Also, Steve Valentine says, what's good, War Rapport family? I think we need to stick with our current QBs on deck and let Davis build them.
Yeah,
need
man.
to recruit in O-line. Hey, facts and facts. I agree with both of those statements. And thank you again for that super chat. On that note, B, I think Mike, you and I may have said this at some point, but I remember B saying something to this effect, that I'm seeing people who are just down on Finley. Like they're going straight to Demetrius Davis, and that's fine. I mean, I want to see what Davis can do as well. But something you said that stuck out to me is that even those who were really supportive of Bo, it took Bo 4 to 5 games for the light to come on in this new system, right? Finley has only played three full, or he will have played 3 full games to end this season, right? He came in towards the end of Mississippi, or he came in starting South Carolina Iron Bowl game. So it's going to take time for him to get his legs up under him and figure out how he fits in this offense. And again, you got a new offensive coordinator. Harsin knows what he's got in Finley, but it's going to take them time to mold the offense to what he can do. So with that being said, in your opinion, should we give Finley a fair shot before we just discard him as because I mean, I've been hearing things like he's a bum. I've been hearing some wild hot takes from Auburn fans just listening. How would you approach this situation with Finley going into the bowl game, and what are your hopes for him?
I mean, Finley's got to get the bowl game reps is number one. He's got to get the starting, spot for this bowl game. And I think it's the best case scenario for both him and for the team, because again, I think we touched on this a little last show, but nobody's going to be in your way. You're not going to be behind anybody. You're going to work with these wide receivers. You are going to get, this is the best chance. This is the most fair shot you are going to get at this job. Georgia State was a concoction of circumstances in a moment. And even though at the time, Mike and I were more prisoners of the moment than Ike was like, I don't think necessarily he needs to start LSU.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah. We were like, you done, son? Let's go.
Yeah. He hadn't, again, because he hasn't shown me anything to make me feel that way, right? Like,
right.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
But I'm holding. But that's the thing. I'm holding judgment on any of this because I need to see something to judge, right? Like the sample size is way too small. But anyway, continue.
But yeah, so this is the best case for him. Like, here you go. You're going to get a 2.5 to 3 weeks of practice to just play the best game you have ever played. The guy who is making the chief decisions about whether or not your career as a starter continues is the guy who is custom game planning for you, based on what he knows about you and a year of intel about the team and all the surrounding parts that we have. This is the most fair evaluation TJ will ever get, ever, here. Because as soon as we hit spring, now it's wide open again. Now you got Harsin's first chosen QB recruit. You got a guy who's been sitting on the bench behind you, breathing down your neck, and it's you. And now you're back in a fight that you might not necessarily want to be in. And being in that fight in the QB room might be the best for all of us. But even though these guys want to compete, I don't think they want to be thrown back into the mix of fighting for your life every spring. And if players really wanted that, the transfer portal wouldn't be so packed. All right. So the choice about who you go with as QB, I was thinking about it earlier. It's a lot like taking a fork in the road, because it's not an easy switch. Because once you go one direction with a QB, he's the guy getting the reps. He's the guy, you're kind of developing your playbook according to what he can and can't do well. And if you go too far down that road and you want to switch, you can't just go back the other way. I can't go back to the point where I turn left and like, no, I want to turn right now. I don't like the way that went. Well, it's not that simple. You are very much steering your entire vehicle, this entire program, or the offense at least, in the direction of the guy who's at the helm. And if that guy has different skill sets, has different strengths and weaknesses, the next guy who gets in that driver's seat, he's going to be screwed, because now he's supposed to right the ship, but you're already 4 hours out of the way. So how are you going to get back to where you need to get to on time? You can't. And then he looks bad if he can't turn it around. And now everybody's judging him on, he got the wrong directions in the first place. He shouldn't even be driving. Y'all are yelling at him. He got the wrong directions. Why are we mad at him? It's very difficult to put somebody in there after the fact. So the challenge is really in the spring. And this is something I don't know, because I don't coach QBs. All right. I've never played QB. All right. I understand many things about football, but one thing I don't understand is exactly what are the paces they put people through in the spring to determine who should or should not get that first crack at a starting job. I don't know that. If they get that wrong, then they take us 4 hours out of the way. And all of the investment that you could have been making in a different player is too late. Now you're trying to salvage the season. It's too late. We did that in 2015. Jeremy Johnson. We pretty much wasted 4 starts. We had a very embarrassing showing at LSU. I will never forget, because that was also the game where I think Leonard Fournette had Trey Matthews hanging off his shoulders and then threw him off. And I will never forget that game. And then Jeremy Johnson had the ghost fumble, and it was bad. And then what's his name? Lashley on the sideline threw the gloves down and said, "No, it's not the gloves. What are you doing?" It was hard, man. It was hard being a fan that year. That's why we went to Sean White. But we had gotten out of the way. Now, I asked that question, what would that have looked like if we had gone to Sean White sooner? Will we look better on offense? Maybe. But you don't know that Jeremy Johnson isn't that guy until he got that shot.
Yeah.
It was the wrong guy.
I think
now you're way out of the way. Now you have forfeited a few games and we end up 6-6. It's a hard decision to make. I don't know how you make that decision. I don't know how Harsin evaluates. I don't know how he prepares them to compete for that job. What is he telling them? Do you give them all the same playbook and say, "Hey, we're going to come out here for a scrimmage. I want you to run these set plays"? Is it the exact same plays and you judge the results? Or do you give them something specially tailored for them, put them in some different situations based on what their weaknesses are, and ask them to perform that and see how they perform there? I have no clue.
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody does it different.
Yeah, I can tell you right. So here are the things that I see that are problematic for TJ, in my opinion. If we are to believe what the coach has said, and TJ has said himself about last season, he was preparing every game as if he were the starter, right? Mm-hmm. But then you come out and you don't play starter caliber football. That's a problem for TJ, right? You can't tell me, but my preparation was as if I was the starter the whole time. It sounds really good in the press conference. It sounds really good on film when you see that, but then I need to see starter caliber football on Saturdays, right? And that's a problem TJ has to overcome, because he hasn't instilled that confidence outside of a presser, right? Your play is what is going to instill the confidence. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about that play up until this point. You have to prove it on the football field.
Right.
I don't know how you listen to him talk and you don't root for him, though. He sounds like the most, he sounds well-spoken. He's got a great attitude. I love the attitude that he had on the sidelines when he wasn't playing. Right. I love the attitude he had on the sideline when he was playing. And even if he wasn't playing great, I don't ever feel as if TJ Finley felt a moment was too big for him. But he's got to play better on Saturdays. Now, I get reps with the same guys that you're going to be throwing to and getting in the flow of the game. All of that stuff definitely is something that I think he deserves some time to be able to prove before we make a judgment on that. But before you also assume that somebody else can do it better, right? But he's got to figure it out and put it together for 4 quarters of football. I haven't seen him do it yet, so I don't know whether he can or cannot. In LSU, like, people act as if he never played good football at LSU. Mm-hmm. He did, right? Like, he had a game where he played better. I don't want to do comparisons. He had a good game against South Carolina his freshman year at LSU, right? But he's really only had 6 starts. Like, again, he's essentially still a freshman quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah, I would just like to point out, knowing what we know about what was going on at LSU, every quarterback in that room gets a reprieve from me. That program was already falling apart, which culminated in this season where they fired their coach before the end of the season.
Right.
QB play was pretty good, though. I mean,
it was all right. The starter got hurt, right? And they had dysfunction within their program, which undoubtedly affected every kid in that program, because look what's happening now is a mass exodus. LSU was way down the recruiting list. I mean, they were in decline. So, like, let's do what intelligent people do and write off what we saw about this kid at LSU, because when he hit the transfer portal, a lot of programs wanted him. A lot of programs. It wasn't like he just had one option. He had plenty of D1 options to go to. So he gets to Auburn. He misses the spring. He comes in for summer workouts, right? By game 4, he has to come and rescue us from disaster. But to Ike's point, if we're to believe that he was preparing as the starter, then some of the play that we did see was disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that wasn't just coach speak.
But it sounds like it.
Yeah,
it
so
sounds like
I don't know, but
Yeah.
what we know now is he's actually going to be getting those reps.
right.
So again, I'm ready to hit the reset button on this on him for the spring, and I just hope that all these people who have already written him off, if he wins the starting job, hopefully you can find it in your orange and blue heart to cheer for Auburn come game 1.
Yeah, and my other thing too about the whole situation with him is that I don't know how the people who were so down on the offensive line are the same people who are just down on TJ. Like, did the offensive line start playing better, in your opinion, when TJ got in there? Because I don't understand how you can.
I have a theory about that. I want to before we get to you, Mike. I want to get to these super chats real quick. JT Martin says, I think the problem with Finley for fans is that he's just not exciting. I know it's wrong to judge him on that from the games he's played, but Demetrius Day, and I think what you're alluding to is Finley's mobility, or perhaps lack thereof, as it compares to Bo and Demetrius Davis, which makes him a player that defenses have to account for in terms of his ability to escape the pocket. Also, Chris Lester here says, I honestly feel our QB1 is already in an Auburn uniform. To go back to JT Martin's point, I think, in my opinion, the reason why fans are kind of down on Finley is, to your point, Ike, about the offensive line. They feel like if Finley isn't mobile behind our O-line, he's doomed. And any signs of struggle, it's almost kind of like a confirmation bias. If Finley gets out there and doesn't play as well, it confirms what they were already skeptical about in the beginning with Finley. And so I think that has built momentum up to this point where people have kind of written him off in that regard, because you're assuming we need a mobile QB to account for our deficiencies up front. And so when Finley doesn't prove that theory wrong, people are just kind of solidified.
But they blame that on TJ, though. That's my problem. It's like you blame TJ when the offensive line doesn't play well when he's in there. But when other quarterbacks are in there, the offensive line is the reason the quarterback doesn't play well. I just don't. I need continuity in the reason. Now, if you're saying I didn't want TJ to start because I don't think he's mobile enough, that's still a different argument. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're not making the same argument. You're saying, see, he's not mobile enough behind that offensive line. We need a more mobile quarterback. Different argument than saying one person plays poorly because the offensive line is bad, and another person plays poorly because they're a bad quarterback behind the same offensive line.
Right.
Like I said, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah. At the end of the day, man, the bottom line is TJ's on this roster because the coaches wanted him on this roster. We have some guys who chose to stay, and they have really not wavered through all this madness. Demetrius, there have been no ambiguous statements from TJ Finley or Demetrius Davis about whether they're staying or they're going. Right. So once we choose a starting quarterback, the next job the coach has is to sell to the guy that did not win the job that he is this close. Right. Because that's how you keep that guy on campus. You know, it's not the end of the world for Demetrius Davis if he doesn't win this job. It's just not. It's another year for him to get prepared as if he were a starter, right? Get a little bit more physically ready, get a little bit more immersed in this system and what Harsin expects, so that you are the undoubted front runner once TJ either kills it and leaves or doesn't kill it and has to sit, or God forbid an injury. Right, which we never like to see. So that's all where I'm at with this, right? And then the kid coming in, I just hope Garner, I just hope he's part of a pipeline of QBs who have time to absorb the system, get their bodies physically ready for SEC play, and then take over sometime around their third year. Right. So because
we've seen you don't need 2 or 3 years for pro scouts to say, okay, this guy's ready. Listen,
right.
We only saw a year of Mac Jones and he went pro, right? If you're grooming the quarterbacks right, you know, You don't need you don't need 2 or 3 years. Prove that the system works. That quarterback fits within the system. They can make the right reads, make the right throws. So, DD not winning the job this season doesn't mean that he can't have a stellar third year on Auburn's campus and go straight pro right after that, right?
It doesn't
be
say
eligible that year.
It doesn't say anything about his negative potential that year either, which is what I want fans to get out of their head. Just because these two couldn't beat out the last guy doesn't mean that their talent ceiling is not higher.
Correct. Because if you ask most players on that Bama team, Mac Jones was the better quarterback of the 3.
Yes.
Went between
out loud.
Don't talk to those receivers.
Between Hurts,
they said
Tua,
that out loud.
Right.
Yeah.
Between Hurts, Tua, and Mac, they would say Mac Jones was the better quarterback, but he sat behind those other 2 guys.
He was buried behind those guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not about who's the most maybe the guy's not ready, or maybe the guy who's there is playing well enough. Maybe they're equivalent in talent at that moment in time, but because the experience is there, you're going to go with the more experience. Like there's a lot of reasons other than talent.
I hope Devontae Smith buys Mac Jones a Tesla every Christmas until the next decade, because he won the Heisman in large part because of QB accuracy. He was deadly accurate. His ball placement was otherworldly. That's why he got into the first round of the draft.
Right.
Not the most physically gifted kid, but man, his ball placement. And then look where he has the Patriots as a rookie.
Well, to be fair, look where the Patriots defense has him.
I know. I'm just saying. Listen, he's a rookie in the NFL.
He is good. He is also playing for the best NFL head coach of all time, who is a defensive coach who has.
They took him. They drafted him, so they had to know he was good. The best coach of all time took him.
He was
anyway. I don't want to talk about Mac Jones no more.
Two things can be true, guys. Two things can be true. We're the 30-minute mark.
The only thing that's true right now is Wesley Hilson. What's up, man? Trip. Shout out to you. Yes, very excited that you get to bring him to the Birmingham Bowl. Very excited to come meet your son at that game as well, man. Definitely looking forward to that. Yeah.
Also, Chase Wood says, appreciate the super chat. It's sad, but the backup QB is always the best player on the team. Maybe. I remember every Bama fan was screaming, put Tua in when Jayla was struggling. Turns out they were right. Usually they are not. I say it depends on who your number 2 was. I just know who our number 2 was.
Jayla's having a pretty good pro career right now. So like
Tua's could have
gone
anywhere.
Can't stay healthy though. And that's always been the knock on Tua is he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about them no more.
Ryan, appreciate this, man. Not sure if you're trying to say something to us, but appreciate that super chat. Also, Walt, good to see you in here, buddy. I think we can win with TJ, but he needs to work on his movement within the pocket and his internal clock.
Yeah. That's one of those quarterback things that he can just work on. Forget system.
Yeah.
Right? Like the clock in your head, how you feel pressure. Like there are some things that he can just get better as a quarterback. That's what I'm looking for in this bowl game.
And isn't this pretty common with pocket QBs anyway? Like they tend to be a little bit more comfortable, too comfortable almost in the pocket, right? At times. Yeah. And so I think that's something.
So other people will say this in the chat. He's got to speed up how quickly he's processing the information, right?
Right.
Like it's not high school anymore. You don't have that because that guy's going to close on you a lot faster than you think he is in the pocket, all that sort of thing. So you need to be able to make the pre-snap read that's necessary, understand where you need to go with the ball, and be decisive because you're not mobile. So you don't have as much time as other people may have.
2.5 seconds. That clock is about 2.5 seconds, and then he's got to get rid of the ball.
Yeah. So in a sense, he is kind of like a freshman in that regard, to where he has to be able to process it.
Like he hasn't played a full season of football. Like that's
what I'm saying. He's basically a freshman in that
quarterback.
regard.
Like he hasn't even played a full season of football, and we're like, oh, he's awful. Like we don't do that to any other freshman quarterbacks anywhere. Like everybody will say, oh, well, he was a freshman, and they expect poor play out of a freshman, or they expect freshman mistakes out of a freshman. But somehow TJ he ain't getting that, and I don't understand that. I don't get that.
Right.
I get it.
He's got talent, man. He's got dynamic arm talent. I hope we can see him use it a little bit in this bowl game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Brian, just you coming back. I'd like to see TJ Finley play well enough to keep our next QB off the field until he's ready.
That's where I'm at.
That speaks of pipeline. That speaks of like having a QB in a succession to where next man up and he's ready. It's plug and play.
Yeah,
I agree. Stuart Donald, Merry Xmas and War Eagle to everyone.
Merry Christmas, Stu.
Merry Christmas to you. Man. Happy holidays. Think we're through it all. Guys, we want to hear from you, man. What are your thoughts on our QB situation? Who you want to see? Who you want to see in the bowl game? Let us know either in the comments live or on replay. Guys, this is a reminder that you are watching the Wednesday Night War Room. Be sure to get the thumbs up. If you've been watching up to this point, please hit like on our videos. Even if you're not commenting, it helps with our engagement. We definitely appreciate that. We're now going to pause and acknowledge the sponsors of the War Rapport.
The War Rapport's Wednesday Night War Room is brought to you by our generous sponsors. AuburnSports.com. For news and notes on all things Auburn sports, head over to AuburnSports.com. Our betting partner, BUSR. Bet with confidence at BUSR.com/report. University Ace Hardware, located at 2101 East University Drive in Auburn, Alabama, right across the street from the Auburn Mall and next to the movie theater. For all of your hardware needs, Ace is the place. And our giveaway sponsor, GWT2 Energy. If you want the best in the business at restaurant logistics, check out our friends at GWT2Energy.com.
Hey, get yourself a green name in this chat. Become an insider. We got lots of great content coming at you guys. Some of it is going to be insider only. Insider is like being an insider is like having an invisible wall that keeps out trolls. And that's how we're going to keep your War Rapport experience clean from January to July. $5.99 from our YouTube front page will get you there. We're partnered with the Lee County Humane Society to raise money for a good cause. We want to hashtag save all the puppies. Help us help them. You can find the link to this fundraiser in the About section of our YouTube channel. Please go there. 50 cents on every dollar goes to them to help them save all the puppies. We're giving away a t-shirt. He gone. So you better not be gone if you want to win this t-shirt. You're going to have to be here at the 1 hour mark. Hashtag get your weight up in the comments to enter. We will draw at the 1 hour mark. This is brought to you by GWT2 Energy Consulting Services. That's our guy, Walt Taylor, in the comments. Give Walt a digital high five for these free giveaways. He's funding them, people. We love Walt. Shout out to our sponsor, BUSR. Visit BUSR.com/rapport and use promo code THANKS21. It's a holiday promo they're running to get you some free money to play with. So lots of bowl games, lots of things to bet on. College basketball is back. You know, there's plenty there, and it's NFL playoffs are coming. So if you're trying to get your bet on, please do so at BUSR.com/rapport so they know that the War Rapport sent you. Guys, we're on podcasts. Check us out on every single podcast platform. We are dropping this Wednesday Night War Room on podcasts. Subscribe, download, leave us a 5-star review. Help us climb those podcast charts. And we're giving away tickets to the Birmingham Bowl tonight. That's right. We have given away tickets the last 3 live streams. So this will be the 4th in a row that we will give away 2 tickets to the Birmingham Bowl. After we draw for the t-shirt, we will draw again. We'll tell you guys that hashtag at the, when it's time to get the hashtag. It's
time to do it.
Yeah. So make sure you're here. Make sure you're here.
Indeed. I like that falsetto you hit when you start talking about the Birmingham Bowl.
Birmingham Bowl. No. Is that falsetto?
Yeah.
I learned that from B. Gotcha.
Well, guys, let's transition into the hardwood here and let's discuss
let's grab these last couple of super chats before we transition.
I missed them. Okay.
Yeah. Chase was clarifying. People always think the backup is better when the starter isn't playing well. He meant tongue in cheek on that. Tongue in cheek about the backup there. And then Corey will transition us into hardwood. Is it too early to start DD18 Heisman campaign? War damn Bruce. Great to see Flanny back out there. Let's go BB Ham Bowl champs. So yeah, Corey.
I think DD he's got Kyler Murray energy to me. I think he could have that kind of season.
It's possible.
Super mobile.
Hopefully, it's not Texas A&M Kyler Murray, and it is Oklahoma.
Oklahoma
Kyler
Tiger.
Murray.
Yeah, Oklahoma
But
Tiger.
Kevin Sumlin was a terrible coach. Terrible, terrible, terrible coach. Johnny Manziel made that man a lot of money. That's why NIL matters right there, because that head coach got fantastic extensions and buyouts from one player's fantastic season and then a very good season after that. And Johnny Manziel couldn't legally profit off of those performances. That was a crime.
He certainly tried, though. Was it for a lack of him trying to put?
He got some. Now we know he got some, but I don't know what, but he got some.
Free Johnny.
Man. That's a fireable offense. What happened with Kyler Murray there with Sumlin. But anyway, let's transition to the hardwood. Guys, some of you may have saw it earlier. Auburn played Murray State at Auburn, 5 p.m. Central, and came out of this victorious. This was an enjoyable game, man. I enjoyed it. And during the game, they were showing what Bruce Pearl has managed to do since being at Auburn. And it showed us that magical year where we made that run, won the SEC championship, went to the Sweet 16, went to the Final Four, and all I could think of was
a double dribble, man. It was definitely a double dribble. I don't know how he didn't see it. How did he not see it? He was standing right there, like in front of him when he did this.
This is why they couldn't finish that segment. We're talking about us hoisting up the trophy because of this right here. Look at it.
Yeah,
it's bull, isn't it?
Yeah, man, it hurts. It still hurts.
Anyway,
I would have won $10,000 if we had pulled out that championship.
I'm sorry, man.
It hurt. I put a bet on Auburn to win it all, and they were going off at 100-1. And when they double dribbled and they didn't call it, it hurt real bad.
Yeah, I bet. You didn't break anything, did you?
No, I was in public, so
you should have broke something. They deserve something.
I did not get arrested.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it did hurt. And I live in Virginia, so I had to watch in a bar with Virginia fans.
Oh yeah, no, that's not okay.
Yeah, it was. They were extra obnoxious.
I feel for you, sir. I feel for you. Listen, let's get into it. We sent out a poll via Twitter. Thanks to all of you who responded, gave us your thoughts on who the player of the game was, and our player of the game is, drum roll. Somebody hit the drums, please.
I'm sorry. I want to go keep doing that long. I'm sorry.
Thanks, you two.
Yeah.
Wendell Green.
Hey, yeah. Wendell.
Look at the stat line: 13 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals in only 19 minutes. But what he was known for in this game was shooting this ball from wherever his hometown was and hitting that shot with 1 second left. So when you look at the highlight, it looks like the half is about to end until you look at the game clock. And no, you just shot it from there and nothing but net. No backboard, no nothing. Had an amazing game.
A couple of people had really good games, though.
Very pleased. Yeah, we're going to get into them. We're going to get into them.
I was a little shocked at this pick, honestly.
Well, it was the highlight. He had the play of the game, and so a lot of people were hyped about that, and so I think that's what earned him the game. I was very impressed.
To be tied for the lead in rebounds on the team, though, as a
that was crazy.
5'11", kid.
Yeah,
like, that's an impressive stat for him to be a small guard to be double-digit rebound game. So
he had a nasty assist in this game too, where he looked off someone. So
he found a cartwheel under the basket. Yeah, that was nice.
He had a strong game. Like let's talk tools to the game.
Okay,
let's talk tools to the game. Our sponsor, who normally does this on the weekend tailgate, we're shout out to University Ace Hardware, but we're just going to do tools to the game since it's a War Rapport Wednesday. What is you guys' tools to the game? Mine is just defense. I was impressed with our defense, and I think I read somewhere where Murray State was averaging 51% from the field. coming into this game. They ended up making only 41% of their shots for this game, far below what they're accustomed to. And Auburn had 11 blocks total in this game. And of course, does Auburn lead the nation in shots blocked?
That's a great
We
question.
lead
I
the
can tell you in a
conference.
second.
They lead the
we are-
conference. Someone in
Walker
the
Kessler's like in the top, maybe like 10, I know he's in the top 10 in shot blocks in the country.
he has to be near the top because he had 7. He had 7 tonight alone of the 11. So
Yeah, we're third in the nation in blocks per game.
So, the fact that we can even if we don't block the shot, we're able to alter team shots. And so teams are struggling trying to score in the interior against our defense. And so I think that's been one of the key things for us getting this victory against a team that actually shoots the ball particularly well in Murray State. So I think that was definitely an important key for me. Ike, what's yours?
Yeah, I was gonna go with the shot blocking. You talked defense, but specifically the shot blocking in this game. When you have a size advantage, it's important that you figure out ways to be effective in blocking shots without getting into foul trouble. And we've done a fairly decent job of that the entire year, of just being really good rim protectors. And I think that's in this game, it was super evident. I like the energy that we bring on the defensive end. There's some things I don't like about how we play defense, but I do love the energy, and that energy translates to closeouts and just not a lot of free runs to the rim. So yeah, shot blocking for me.
B. Will, what's yours, sir?
Oh, I was going back and forth between Wendell Green's outside shooting, the shot blocking, like Walker Kessler. But this is not my key to the game. It might as well be, because it's essential to who we are on defense. Walker Kessler being able to erase so much of the other team's driving is so important, because we have lengthy, energetic guards. Flanagan is a 4, but he's gonna serve as a guard, especially on the perimeter when it comes to guarding other players as he gets back into rhythm. Knowing that you have a guy in the middle that can erase shots, we are going to be impossible to score on consistently. It will be different once we get into SEC play, and we're going up against centers that can body Kessler a little bit, because he's slim. He doesn't weigh a lot. And if they're more athletic and just as tall, that may be a problem down the road. But so far, he looks better on his feet. He looks like he knows where the basket is a little more consistently on offense. Like at first, it looked like when he was down there, he was a little lost first couple games of the season, but now he knows where the basket is. He's finding it. I saw a nice little post move from him. I was like, okay, we're getting into
I
it.
don't know how many of y'all, old school basketball fan. He got a little Kevin McHale in him down there in the post.
He does.
Man. Like
He does.
he's got
And
a
I
little
didn't see
Kevin
this.
McHale. I like.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that take, Ike.
Yeah.
He was struggling at the outside shot early in the year, but he actually stood back there and hit one of those this game. But I needed to praise Walker Kessler for a minute, because he looks good. He's improving very quickly.
I think he was building off of what he did against St. Louis, and I think that's starting to give him confidence to kind of play his game down in the paint, and he's getting more comfortable down there. It looks so. I want to get to this real quick before I get to you, Mike G. Chase Woods has also, thanks for putting out content so I can watch while I'm quarantined. COVID's no joke. Again, guys, fully vaccinated and got it a second time. Listen, man, get well, take care of yourself.
These variants again, folks, bro.
Yeah, man. So take care of yourself. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to keep putting out content. You just take care of yourself so you can be around and enjoy it, but get well, sir. Mike G.
We missed this one. Hold on. He said, I'd like to see Harsin have a package for DD.
I
would probably talking about the bowl game. I'm assuming.
Yeah. No matter how that game plays out, I hope we see that. No matter if we're up by a little or up by a lot, I would like to see that. I agree.
Yeah. There are a few more in here actually we can get to before we get to me.
Yeah. Right. Walt says, I was at the game, Wendell Green Jr. with the half court shots. Definitely
crazy. It's crazy. It looked crazy.
I think there was one other one that I skipped.
You guys get Chris Lester?
No, that's the one I missed. Yeah. So, guys, I think DD or TJ will be fine, but if we don't get this O line together, I don't think TJ will thrive. Like, I mean, listen, I don't know that there are very many quarterbacks that can thrive behind poor O line play. I think the bigger thing for this O line is figuring out how to be a little bit tougher in the run game, because we have to run block better.
Yeah.
If you look at the statistics, pass blocking actually wasn't as bad as everybody seems to think it was.
Right.
But
Right.
again,
It's
I
that
don't
nobody
wanna-
respects the run, and the run doesn't work that well, and that makes it very hard to have a very consistent passing game.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then Corey Weber here says, how do we feel about Cambridge taking minutes from Chris Moore? To me, it seems like Moore has the higher ceiling. Ooh.
Interesting question.
More
I noticed
played.
that I was looking to see who was not going to get the minutes, and it was actually Moore.
3 minutes. He played 3 minutes.
Yeah. I saw they were talking about this in the chat when we were speculating about when Flanagan was going to come back. Devin Cambridge he's a leaper.
Mm-hmm.
He is an outside shooter. He is somewhat spotty at that outside shot.
Okay, there you go. I was about to
Yeah.
say, you said outside shooter. I was like, yeah.
He's spotty with it. It's like he's streaky. He's streaky with it. But the biggest thing is with the ball in his hands, he's not a very good ball handler.
Nope.
So his energy is going to thrive on A, whether or not he gets lobs, and B, whether or not the outside shot drops. If those two things don't go, he kind of disappears. And I would, again, I'm not a coach. I'm going to tell you what I would do, and I could be completely wrong. And Devin Cambridge could be the MVP of our national championship run in the tournament. However, I think I agree. I think Moore has a higher ceiling. I would be investing those minutes into Moore. Coach Pearl likes to play everybody anyway, so everybody's going to get to play. You're going to get time to be out there and pester on defense and be on the boards and put some energy out there. But Cambridge has been inconsistent enough with as much time as he's got under this coach and playing for this team. I would be going and trying to invest those minutes in somebody else at this point. But that's just me.
And is Moore correct me if I'm wrong, Moore was out a game or so with the flu recently. Was he not 100? Did he miss a game?
Yeah,
I think it may have been when they was in Atlanta or something like that.
I
But
would assume, yeah, he didn't get very many minutes when in that game, those games. So I'm going to assume, yes, that's right. But
so I don't know if that's just him coming back but yeah, I mean, I think Moore probably does have the high. Listen, Cambridge is fun when he catches an oop, when he's dunking, he's fun to watch for sure. But it's interesting to see how that. I was curious to see who was not going to get some minutes. But let's talk about Flanagan. How do we feel about Flanagan being back out there tonight? Flanagan actually played a total of 12 minutes.
12 minutes, yeah.
Didn't score any points.
he definitely scored. He had the dunk in the game.
Mhm.
He scored.
Yes, he had 3. Yes, he had 3. So how do we feel about him coming back?
Well, my tool to the game
I was
was
about to say, Mike can't even do his thing. Yeah.
point guard play.
Yeah.
Right. Nice to have good point guard play. Solid point guard play. Wendell Green has been just surprisingly good. I've just been really impressed. I know he's a transfer, but to bring a guy like that in and for him to have the kind of impact that he has distributing the ball and being dynamic as a scorer, certainly opens up the court for everybody else, because what do you do with that guy? He can drive past you. He can step back. He can dish. He can do everything but dunk. I don't know if he's dunked this season, but like,
I don't think he got that kind of hops.
yeah, he can throw it to somebody else who can dunk. So I've just really seen him do it all. Gets his teammates involved. This is insane that, you know, we had Sharif Cooper, right, and now we got this guy, and I mean this pipeline that they've started where they're just choosing all the right guys. Man, Wendell Green has just been. I didn't know what to make of him when I first saw him. You know, but what a great get for them.
Yeah.
I think he's really been the X factor this season.
Yeah, he has some rough stretches in games, and I we talked about Charles Barkley's statements about shot selection. Sometimes I think he's a little too trigger happy with the three, especially those deep threes. But man, when he gets rolling, bro, like his handle is nasty. He's got good vision when he gets downhill. And if he's shooting the ball well, I don't know how you stop Auburn offensively, because he stretches the floor so much.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just really
Yeah.
tough, man. It's just we have a lot. That's the thing. This is the thing that I loved the Final Four team. I think again, if Chuma's not hurt, I think it's a very different outcome in the tournament. And even without him, we still should have been playing, for the national championship, right?
Yeah.
But the issue with that team for me was minus Chuma Okeke, Jared Harper is the only guy who can just go get a bucket, right? Put the ball in his hands, get out of the way, go get a bucket. So teams were just taking the ball out of his hand, right? Like they had to make Auburn do it in the half court, which we were not good at that year, which is getting
Right.
half court buckets. This
Right.
year, you can't just take one guy out of this equation and say, all right, cool, we're just gonna remove him, now figure out a way to score.
Yeah, you can't really
That's-
key on any one
That ain't
guy.
the case this year, man. It's so many guys you could just put the ball in their hand and let them go get a bucket. So I'm loving the way that we do this offensively. But I want to circle back to the question that you asked C about, the question that they ask about minutes for Chris Moore versus Devin Cambridge, and B. Will talked about it a little bit. It may be the sickness thing. I have to go back and look at that again. I think Devin is a little bit better, a guard, right? Like, so when you need someone to play those guard minutes and guard out on the wing, he's a little
Right.
bit better. Chris Moore he's the same height, right? But he is really like a forward. Like he's a bigger, stockier guy. He's not as good with the lateral movement as, and I say that not as good as Devin Cambridge. I don't really like Devin Cambridge's lateral movement, but I think that's maybe the reason. But yeah, I'd have to agree. I think that from a ceiling standpoint, I do think Chris Moore has the higher ceiling of the two players. Devin Cambridge is more electric though, right? Like you're going to get the highlight plays out of him. You're going to get, he's really good off the ball offensively though. Like
Right.
and that's why he
Right.
gets a lot of those lives, because he's just the backdoor cuts and stuff like that. He moves really well off the ball, and he can just get up off the floor. So you're going to get those electric plays. But I think Chris Moore is just scrappy. He is just as inconsistent with his outside shot, but he's a better rebounder, and he's just a tougher, I think, minded player. So, we'll see where it goes going forward.
Auburn actually grabbed 48 boards in this game to Murray State's 33, which definitely was a positive sign. Against St. Louis, they were out rebounded by 19. I think St. Louis had 46 to our 27. So talk about how important it was to see Auburn bounce back and actually dominate the boards in this game.
Well, Coach Pearl got after him after that last one, right? I mean, they were fortunate that didn't have a bigger impact on the game than it did, like losing the rebounding battle that bad. So when you're giving teams second chance shots, it's just not a good formula for winning consistently. So it was kind of cool to see them the very next performance come out and do well the thing that they did poorly. I think it's a good indication that these guys are getting like really good coaching.
Yeah.
Especially because we're bigger everywhere except for point guard. We are big.
Yeah.
We should be killing people on the boards. Like St. Louis, the entire story of the game, rebounding. Like if the rebounding margin is zero.
Do you think, let me ask you this then, B, or guys, and you can chime in. Do you think it's because of how we play, our style of defense sometimes, that we're out of position for boards because we're going for we're trying to block shots.
Yes.
We're trying to get in on the fast break. Like we're not in position to crash the boards because of how we play.
Yeah, that's literally the point I was going to make. A lot of the times, I think just everybody is, which is why we block so many shots and why we get so many steals, is because we take a lot of chances defensively, right? And so those chances lead to a lot of backdoor cuts happening on us, and we're just very aggressive in the passing lane and to go block shots. But that also means you're not really committed to securing the off or the defensive glass, right? Like, because you're looking to block a shot and then go run. So that's probably the bigger issue, is that sometimes you don't have to go for the block. Sometimes you need to just let that guy do whatever and be ready to box out. Because you'll see a lot, like there's oftentimes that two, even three guys are going up for a shot block on somebody.
Right.
It's like everybody's like, nah, bro, you're not getting no shots up on this.
And for the most part, your tallest guy on the court is not even in play because Kessler's definitely going for the shot block.
Yeah. And it happens a lot. Like it happens often that what like the person who's driving the ball, of course, you got, let's just say Wendell Green is checking the guy or Zeb Jasper's on him, right? And they're on the person's hip. And then you've got two other guys in the paint going to look for a shot block. So that you had three people going to block a shot, trying to box out the rest of the team. That's hard to go secure rebounds in that situation.
Right.
And so that's really been the bigger issue. And I like when I was looking at the film from, what game was I watching today? I was watching back some game because I was doing some cut-ups. USF. I was watching the South Florida game, and it was a play in particular where, it was literally three people trying to block the shot, and then the guy
Florida.
South Florida. It was South Florida.
South Florida. Okay.
Yeah, it was the USF game I was watching, and the player got the ball up over the top, but he missed the shot because, of course, he got shot altered by three different players. But then nobody's there for the backside rebound. They get the rebound and put it back in, right? Like that happens pretty frequently. And then we are actually doing a fairly decent job because we blocked the shot so well of forcing people to take longer shots.
Right.
So you're going to get longer rebounds in those instances. So it's not, your height doesn't really matter in that situation. With the long caroms, you have to have guard play to come get those boards and do that. And our guards are looking to run, right? So it's a mixed bag. It's not just being, physicality. Some of it's poor instincts as rebounders. Some of it is over aggressiveness as blocking shots. Some of it is good defense as forcing longer shots and longer rebounds. But there definitely needs to be a more consistent commit because, Dennis Rodman will tell you, if you listen to him talk, rebounding is just like you just want it more than the other dude and you kind of understand it and you go and get it. I don't know that we have a guy on our team that from a rebounding standpoint says, if it comes off that rim, I'm getting it. We don't have that kind of dude on the squad. So, anyway.
Derek Freeman, appreciate you, man, for the super chat here. Also, I see you, James Stallings. Might be a stretch. Don't crucify me, but I think I like him more than I did Cooper.
Hey, man, listen.
Wendell Green.
Yeah. I mean, I might be. I don't think that's a hot take. I might be slightly with you on that.
He's definitely a better shooter.
Yeah,
he's a third year
definitely
player.
a better shooter.
It's not even debatable who's a better shooter between the two.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what he does. I mean, again, Cooper's just electric. Get the ball in his hand. He's going to the basket, getting buckets. But I think what Wendell means to this offense, he makes a bigger impact on the team in terms of getting people involved, stretching, like what you said, like stretching the floor. Like he does some things that Cooper doesn't do.
I feels like we saw Sharif for like a third of a season.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I
mean, Sharif Cooper played 12 games or something. Like he just
it
it's
wasn't
such
even
a
that
small
much.
sample
And
size.
did he get hurt too?
Yeah, like he
It's the latter half
started
of the
late,
season.
got hurt the latter end of it, and he was a true freshman. Sharif Cooper is the quintessential point guard, though. Like he knows how to get other people involved. He has a really high basketball IQ, but yeah, from a scoring standpoint, it's not a contest. Wendell Green is a much better scorer than Sharif Cooper, I think, ever will be, just because Sharif doesn't have a particularly good form when he shoots the ball. Like he still shoot kind of like a little kid. When I look at him, like, that's cute. He got it all the way to the rim that time, huh? But he's got a little, nice floater in the lane or whatever. But Wendell Green is stepping, from 30 and knocking it down like it's a layup. So much better score.
Well, listen, we're at the hour mark. Y'all know what time it is. It's giveaway time. Y'all know what to do. Hashtag get your weight up.
Let's get this ready. Let me share that. Which one are we doing the He Gone shirt this time?
Yeah.
Isn't it how I think he's not in the chat tonight, but Spicy actually, he's claiming that he started the He Gone, and he might have. I just didn't watch that closely. How prophetic it was, because we've been able to use that now for Bobo and Bo, and I'm sure we'll be able to use it again in the future. It is a reusable phrase. Not only does it apply to the chat, when somebody is not here to claim their prize, but also to the players who decide to leave and to the coaches who get fired. This is a wonderful thing. I love this community.
Gone, indeed.
James says mostly I mean the fact that we could have him for 3 years.
Yeah,
Maybe,
it's a definite possibility.
Wait,
that
I thought
could
he
be
was.
here
This
for-
was his 3rd year of basketball. Was he only at Eastern Kentucky 1 year?
I'm not sure how many. Years
I'm not sure.
eligibility he has left. Honestly,
We
I
can
mean,
check
2
though.
years
I
is
said we can
great.
definitely check. Yeah,
2 would be
Yes.
awesome.
I mean, shoot, he plays well enough this year. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, we make that
Right.
run. He might be out of here.
All right, let's get to this. Oh, we already broke 100.
Yeah, it was only at Eastern Kentucky for 1 year.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, so, but again,
2021.
Give him at least
listen,
two. I think
there's
at
no
least that's-
minimum amount of time that you have to be at a school in basketball. So
That's
you
true.
play well enough, and scouts are like, we can use you. He could take his ball and go home. So
Let's get him some NIL money. Keep him around for a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Well, somebody signed him to a Guthrie's deal.
Why
All
Guthrie's
right.
all the
We
time?
need better NIL
My
deals.
favorite spot.
We need better NIL.
I
deals.
think he might go pro if Guthrie's is all we got to throw at him.
Under Armour deal. I don't know.
get your weight up in the
Oh, no, I
comments
don't want no
here.
more.
I'm gonna go do this in 10 seconds. 10 seconds. You're watching this on delay, so by the time you see me say you got 10 seconds, I'm probably already pushing the button. So sorry to that, man. All right, let's
One
go.
of these days, Corey's gonna win. One of
don't
these
know.
days.
One of
We,
these
oh,
days.
we just passed his name.
So probably we'll get
Unlucky.
back around.
Unlikely. Doug
Doug
Easom.
Doug
Easom.
Easom, where you at?
Doug,
Doug
where you
Easom.
at?
Let us
Doug
know in the
Easom.
comments if you are
Nah.
here.
Yeah, he entered 2 minutes ago, so I know he's here. Come on,
So,
Doug.
yeah. All right, we can move on if he says something in the comments.
So-
we'll look at it.
I noticed the kid from Murray State, and I still have nightmares of John
Tevin-
Morant.
What's his name?
Of John Morant from a few
Smith.
years
What's his
ago,
name?
who
Smith.
torched
Tevin
us.
Campbell?
But
Can we talk for a minute?
Tevin Brown.
Brown, yeah.
You say
yeah,
Tevin Campbell?
Yeah, he said Tevin Campbell.
Bruh.
Doug, what up?
You
Hey.
know what to do, Doug.
Business at the War Rapport, son. Business at the War Report. Please give Walt a digital high five for your free t-shirt. A lot of people, it has been said, legend has it, that he gone. But that does not apply to you. You are here. So let's send us your so send us your t-shirt
Okay.
size and address so we can get that t-shirt out to you.
Legend has it. He gone.
Yeah, so Tevin Brown was from Fairhope, Alabama. And I'm like, that's one. I mean, he was the high scorer of this game.
He was balling. Yeah, he was balling.
Getting
Flanny
buckets.
kind of tightened up on him in the second
Balling.
half, but he was still balling though.
Ballin'.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And you know, you mentioned Flanagan. Like, how do we see this working for him moving forward? Do you think he begins to work his way, or does he just settle into becoming a role player for this team because of the continuity we have? What how do we see this working out? Because again, someone's role has to
Diminish, yeah.
diminish. So who is that person?
It's Cambridge. It's Cambridge.
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotta be
Sorry, yeah,
Cambridge.
I mean, this is X'd out, man. I mean, Flanagan is what he does as a two-way player.
Mhm.
Like, what's scary to me is if you've got Walker Kessler, all right, in the paint, he's patrolling the paint. You got KD harassing somebody. You got Flanagan harassing somebody.
Yeah.
We can, unless you've got three extremely dynamic guards who can drive and shoot, we can defend anybody with those three guys on the court. It is going to be scary for people. Like SEC play, we could keep people from breaking 60. And that would be a feat because of the way the game is played and the talent that we have in this conference. So I am looking forward to, and I was worried probably more about him defending than playing offense because you're backpedaling. That's an Achilles. So I hope they are taking it slow. I mean, they put him out there, man. We got good trainers. We got good doctors and specialists. You know, Dr. James Andrews, I think he's officially the university ligament guy.
Yep.
So I'm certain they know what they're doing with him, but I do hope they take it slow with him and let him work himself into game shape. What did he play, like 6 minutes each half this game?
Something
about
like
it?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Late January, I expect to see. And even if he's up to speed, they still have to figure out the rotations with him because they've gotten much better. Sans Flanagan. That rhyme. They're gonna have to, it's not just about getting him back and getting him 100% healthy. It's like, all right, now exactly where do you fit? Who's gonna get your minutes when you come off the court? And so I think they'll figure it out late January, early February, and we should be in good shape if everybody stays healthy.
Yeah. And the next time we see Auburn take the court, it's going to be a big game against LSU. Who's currently just pasted Lipscomb 95-60. So they will be undefeated coming into Jordan Hare. I think that place is going to be just crazy a week from today. I need to find out what time that game is. Hopefully
I'll tell you what. Way off topic, but I swear on my mama,
on my hood,
if Bama don't drop to at least around 20, I'm gonna flip my ever loving shit. Oh my goodness.
Where is your mama? You talking like that?
They've been giving Bama every excuse to hold them in the top 10 after losses to Iona, Memphis, and now Davidson.
Yeah.
It don't matter, man. You know why it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter because we know because of how much they value, the public values Gonzaga. Bama beat Gonzaga. That's why they're sticking up high. However, they got the whole conference to go through, man. This is what's beautiful about college basketball. You got to play your whole schedule. It doesn't matter what nobody thinks of you a month into the season. Who cares, man? You got a whole bunch of teams to play, and
I care. I want them to be a 16 seed if they make it.
They might be by the time they run through this gauntlet. So we don't have to be so anxious for them to get dropped now. It's coming. I'm excited.
Man. Don't try to tame my petty. I want them down now.
I don't care where they rank as long as we beat them.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
NATO.
Facts.
Whatever.
Oats.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So Eugenia Akira, appreciate you, man. How will Texas A&M skipping the bowl game affect our pick'em challenge?
It's just one less team.
But we had to throw that game out because
for me to be right about,
I think everybody picked them, so it doesn't really
it doesn't change anything, right?
Yeah, it'll make the record look a little different, but
as far as our pick'em, I mean, again, if you're behind, then it is one less game for you to come back in the pick'em that we're doing with everybody. So, which is wild right now, by the way.
By the way, Missouri is currently up on Army 16-14 in the third quarter.
Yep.
Missouri. Let's
go. Yeah, man. And so Beatty didn't play. And Bazelak. I did. I picked Army.
I picked Army.
I think all of us except for you. Yeah.
SEC undefeated, baby.
So Beatty.
If you were watching this game, you wouldn't be saying that.
So Beatty's not.
He opted out. Bazelak was injured, I think. And and they actually had to replace somebody at linebacker with a safety. Like somebody got hurt. It's getting thin out there. It is getting thin.
You already did that one.
Yes.
SEC.
We're better than you.
Is either sport is real. James Stalling says.
Yeah, I don't understand it, man. I
wonder how they're going to do Tennessee because Tennessee just knocked off Arizona tonight.
Yeah,
Arizona was undefeated, so that I can see Tennessee perhaps getting some love.
I've actually watched some Bama basketball, and I'm telling you, they don't look super impressive to me.
But they beat Gonzaga. That's all it's about.
I was about to say it's because
that's it.
Of who
that
they
is
beat right now. And again, I said this. I think in our chat you were asking. If they shoot the ball well from the outside, they're almost unbeatable because that is what ignites their entire game. But if they are missing, if you are a team that's good at defending the three, or they're not shooting the three well that night, it's so hard for them to make points because that is the engine of their team is the 3-point shot. When they're missing that 3-point shot, man, it's very hard for Bama to put points up.
Just don't understand it, man.
Marion asked, did you see LSU's first 5 conference games? Auburn, Tennessee. Yikes.
Brutal. It's a brutal
Yeah, that's
opening
rough.
stretch.
Hey, they'll be all right.
Oh my God.
But listen,
That's-
I mean, the SEC's rough this year, period.
It is. That's
It
what I'm
is.
saying.
It is.
I
It
don't know
is.
who has an easy route. I mean, the first 5 games, that's a tough stretch. But yeah.
Our January is going to be pretty tough too, because we have a very tough out of conference opponent in Oklahoma that we have to play. So
Listen, if we survive the regular season with less than 12 losses, I'm going to feel really good about this team. I'm going to feel really good about this team just because we will have earned it against some very tough opponents. And I still don't think that I've seen them play their best game. Like, I don't think Auburn has put 2 halves of really good basketball together yet, and we've only lost 1 game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and 4 overtimes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and they've been getting better since that game.
for sure.
Their second halves for sure. The first half they still been looking a little flat, but yeah, I think but again, what I like is that you're seeing different people contribute in meaningful ways. So you're finding new ways to win basketball games. It's not KD Johnson has to go be heroic and get you to 4 overtimes. It's Walker Kessler starting to step up. Your Jabari's being consistent, right? Like other people stepping up hasn't made Jabari play worse, right? Like he's been consistent through that entire time. Wendell Green is playing consistently this entire time. Zeb Jasper's a little up and down. He'll have some good shooting nights. He'll have some bad ones, but defensively he's been consistent the entire time, right? Like you're starting to understand where your buckets are coming from, and then you're starting to really understand how to play the defense that Bruce Pearl wants to play in the style that he wants to play. It's going to be good, man. But the SEC, the conference play is going to tell us a lot about this team because physicality has been a thing. You know, again, I was watching that South Florida game. South Florida came out super physical against us. That was a problem. The UConn game that we lost. UConn was a super physical team. We lost it. Well, we beat South Florida, excuse me. But we lost to the UConn game. Super physical team. What was the team that we just played that out-rebounded us ridiculously? Yeah, St. Louis, again, super physical team. So we have to deal with physicality a little bit better, and that's going to be a thing when we get into conference play. But, man, this team is resilient. They think that they can win.
No, bury that word.
Of what happens. So,
resilient.
They are.
That's
they
a
don't
real
care.
word, Mike.
I know. It just
they
reminded me of times past in football.
No, I'm just saying that they don't care how far down they are. They legitimately feel like everybody is still in range to get got. So,
yeah, I agree. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, they're resilient too.
There was one play tonight where
yes, it was 2 overtimes against UConn. Sorry, 4 overtimes was the Iron Bowl.
That was the Iron Bowl.
Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, cool.
It was Jabari was out on the wing, and he was trying to drive. He had his back to the basket. They came over with the double. All right. And he passed it out to KD. KD swung it to who was the other person over there at the top? And I forgot who ended up making the 3, but I was like, there it is. There's your everything guy, your top 5 draft pick, getting the double team, not forcing it, passing it out, ball movement, open 3, and we nailed the 3. I think it was Cambridge that nailed the 3. That gave me hope. I was like, I can't wait to get into SEC play now because that's what's going to happen. They're going to try to take Jabari away. They're going to say, all right, well, you're good. We're going to stop you. And young players can get frustrated, force it, try to be the all-everything team to prove that they need to be a top 1 or 2 draft pick. And some nights it's going to work, some nights it's not. That's not. But Jabari Smith seems to be mature beyond his age. It's not that college players can't be that mature, but freshmen, even if they're really good, they usually are not that mature. They're just always on go, trying to get the draft status up.
Bruce Pearl said that the moment's just never too big for him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, he's hit some big buckets. In games.
He makes it look so easy, man. That's just what's so I love. Like it is. I hate to draw a comparison, but how KD can make that mid-range shot look so easy. He makes it look easy,
he's
man.
More Anthony Davis to me than I see a lot of people comparing him to Kevin Durant. He's more Anthony Davis to me because I don't think he got that. Like his shot is not like as effortless, and he definitely don't have a handle KD does.
Not yet.
Yeah, but listen, he's good. I don't. If anybody, looks at his game and says to himself, "Oh, I don't know why people like him. Like, I just don't know what basketball you're watching. The boy can play."
Right.
For sure. And I like that we don't have to depend on him to score 20 a night to give us a chance. Like,
Right.
he doesn't have to be our leading scorer for us to
Right.
win.
We've got a different player of the game almost every game, and that's a beautiful thing.
For sure. And really, like, it can almost be some of the same people because they've been so consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, guys, we got anything else to cover? I know it's been kind of a slow news week. Now
Gotta give away these tickets. That's it.
Yeah, right. We got to Beham Bowl hashtag.
No, it's hashtag.
Oh, go Tigers. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
Go Tigers.
Don't listen to
Beham Bowl if you don't want them.
I change it up every time so people don't be trying to cheat and get in before I tell you what to do.
Right.
Don't skip. Don't try to skip the line.
Hashtag Go Tigers in the comments. We're giving away 2 tickets. Please only enter if you actually want to go to this game. Because we got tickets all in the same area. These are seats all next to each other, so you guys could actually
Lawrence
sit
Robinson
with each other.
will absolutely not win, even if his
Get
name
out.
comes up. Yeah, that was nah.
I'm just playing. Fix
Nah,
that goal though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so give you guys a couple minutes to get in here and get a chance to win some tickets. This is one of the favorite things that we do here at the War Rapport is giving things back to our community for watching us every Wednesday and Sunday and Friday and Monday. So, and sometimes Thursdays.
And sometimes why? All
Sometimes
right. Let's see here. We gonna
they're jumping in.
tickets here in 10 seconds.
No, you get a little longer than 10 seconds. They going strong. A little time on the lag. I see some new names in the chat today. I always get excited to see new
They want them
names.
tickets. They don't want to
Yeah.
say they are like, I don't really want to comment nothing, but I do want those tickets.
Yeah, some of the new people are angry.
Hopefully y'all hitting that like button too.
Real angry, Yes, love it. The Jones podcast. I see you in here, Jones.
Yeah, they've been in here the last couple of shows.
Garrett McElroy, thanks for joining us. Definitely. We've been real active on Twitter lately. So if you're coming over from the Twitter crowd, let us know. Welcome. Yeah. We have a complete
Garrett,
basketball team.
You related to Greg? Not still. It's spelled differently. Nah, it can't be. Greg McElroy's calling basketball games this year, and it's just odd to hear him.
Really?
Are they just out of talent at ESPN?
Well,
What's
I mean,
going on?
he's just he's trying to be a
He's trying to be
sports guy.
he's trying to be one because there are guys who cover both sports, so he's really he's taking his career seriously.
I'm like, who's on vacation?
Wait, who covers both? I'm trying to think now if there's any announcers like Breen just covers.
Oh, you know who does it? The guy who
Mark Jones.
No. The
Mark Jones is one.
the guy, the game day guy does both.
Who? Reese?
Yeah,
Reese Davis.
Reese Davis does both.
Does he call the games?
Yeah,
I don't think
games.
He calls them.
Yeah, he's called basketball games before.
I don't know.
Reese Davis on the call.
I know he doesn't call.
don't know,
Does he call football games or is he like on the game day?
Let me see.
Yeah, he's on the basketball version of game. What is it? What's it called?
I
no
don't
idea.
know.
I don't really watch ESPN at all anymore, so I don't know.
He has done it before. I know he's done it before, right? So
Okay.
he does do their game day, but he's called games before in basketball.
Gotcha.
I watch so much less ESPN when it's not college football season. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I barely turn it on.
I mean, I don't watch ESPN even during college football season because I don't.
How you watch the games, man?
I'm other than games. I'm talking about anything outside of a game. I don't turn on ESPN. I don't watch it for highlights. So I ain't gonna go on my ESPN rant. Never mind. I ain't gonna do it. Let's get these tickets, man. I gotta listen. If you know me in real life, you know I have a rant for just about everything in life, and I have reasonings for why I do things, and I will give you like a whole dictionary explanation of why it is. Anyway, finna hit this button, get away these tickets. Forget all that. Let's go.
Oh, who's it gonna be? Who's gonna be sitting?
Man, it better not be
Well,
ESPN
Wesley.
winning it. I ain't gonna be mad.
Ellis.
Ellis.
Stall knocker.
I didn't want to say that wrong.
Yeah.
Ellis, if
Are
you're
you
Ellis,
here?
You got to be here.
Are
Yeah.
you here though?
Where
Or
are
is
you,
he
Ellis?
gone? Ellis, talk to us. We can't move on.
Blake feels me. Blake says he don't watch ESPN for nothing but games either.
We need some Jeopardy music.
Corey says Carl Ravitch does basketball and baseball.
Yes, he's
Correct.
here.
Ellis,
Congratulations.
Hey,
place to be.
Ellis, we need you to email us at business at the War Rapport, and I will transfer those tickets to you, sir. Once you get the email, you must accept. If you do not accept, then you won't have the tickets, and you'll be surprised when you get to the gate. So, business at the War Rapport, you'll get an email. You can accept those tickets. Thank you for tuning in tonight, Ellis. Kind of cool to see a non-insider win it here. In case you are wondering if this is fair, I don't think I've seen Ellis in the live comments before. So he shows up one night.
That's my first time seeing him. If he's commented before, then it's
shows up one night and wins. Good for you, buddy. So business at the War Rapport. Please email us so we can get you those tickets.
And for people like Ellis, what do they need to become, Mike G?
Listen, Ellis, I couldn't help but notice that you don't have a green name.
Yeah.
So here's what you can do in return for them tickets, partner. Become an insider. $5.99 a month is a lot less than them tickets cost. So become an insider. Join our community. We're giving away free stuff every live cast. We appreciate everybody. This is a great way to support our content, guys. We're the hardest working content creators. January to July. Nobody is putting out more content than us. I promise you, we've got some excellent basketball stuff coming. And for our insiders, we've got more film breakdowns coming of this past season. You definitely don't want to miss this.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be having the likes of Devin Aromashadu and Chris Todd and Ben Ovamanu joining us to break down film with you guys and talk about play and where we can be better and the things that we saw last season that we definitely don't want to see this season. That stuff will definitely be insider only in the off season. So you don't want to miss that. Starting in January, we're going to start putting out that content for you guys. You know what the deal. Help us hashtag save all the puppies. You can find the link to this in the about section of our YouTube channel. 50 cents on every dollar goes to Lee County Humane Society to help them in their mission to hashtag save all the puppies. Every puppy that comes into their care, it costs them $22 a day for an average of 30 to 45 days until they can find those animals a home. So every dollar counts, guys. You know, as a community, we can all do a little bit of the heavy lifting together to get there. Congratulations to our raffle winners. Want to shout out to BUSR, our betting partner. BUSR.com/rapport. Use promo code THANKS21. That's a little thank you from BUSR to you. So you can get on there and do some bold game gambling. We'd love to see it. Please do so responsibly. And if you need some advice on how to not lose your money, you can hit B up. He is a successful picker of things with spreads. And
Wait, hold up now. Let's not oversell this. My college football season was not good. I lost more money. No, I actually won it back with the Heisman bet we made preseason.
What are you doing, man? We're trying to sell something here.
That's right. Got back in the black. But yes, so let me give this quick spot because we got BUSR up. Do not bet the bowl game season. It is completely unpredictable. It was unpredictable anyway with transfers. Now with COVID, do not do it. I would not bet one game on this list. Not one. Don't do it.
Okay. So
but we got basketball picks.
But we want you to bet with BUSR. Maybe find a basketball game to bet on. I don't know. It kind of rained on the parade there with that.
Listen, just got this bowl season.
We are on podcast. Go check us out on podcast. We're on every single podcast platform. Guys, help us out here. Please go subscribe, download, leave us a 5-star review. And before we get out of here, definitely want to say that Virginia double tripled. We need to never forget this. We need to remember this as tournament time approaches. And we need to remind the refs to watch out for these important double dribbles in crunch time so that we do not get left out of the championship game again this year. Just saying.
Hey, can't hurt, right? Can't hurt. Listen, thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. You guys be safe on your holidays. Before you get out of here, do us a favor. Share this video. Please be sure to share it on social media. Facebook, Twitter. Please use hashtag Get Your Weight Up so people know that you are War Rapport fam. That helps us out a ton. Also, be sure to like this video. And if you haven't, saw some new people in the comment section. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to our channel so you can be alerted when we are going live. Also, for those of you who are on social media, if you're into that sort of thing, you could find us at the War Rapport on Twitter and Instagram, even Facebook. We are also TW Rapport on TikTok. That is all for now, guys. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Be safe. Enjoy your family. But most importantly, and as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Where you go?